Good morning and welcome back to Vlogmas with Will, and as you can see back there, my puppy Mabel in the boot. Now, if you saw one of the first episodes, I was discussing me going through the difficulties of her having a complete breakdown in the boot and really struggling. So we've just dropped off my youngest son at my wife's parents because he stays there on a Monday. Dexter, my oldest, is usually at nursery, but he's a bit poorly, so he's having the day off. Now, Mabel will usually get a little bit excited at drop off, but as you can see, she's stood up, and I'm not going to challenge that yet because as she gets older, there's no way she'll be able to climb up like that. But if you compare that to the early video, which if you haven't seen, you should go check it out, where she was absolutely howling and squealing, now she's just happy to be in the boot. She'll have a little look and a bit of a watch. She was expecting to get out then because my wife's got out and dropped my son off, but like I say, other than being, let's say good morning, Mabel, other than being a little curious as to what's going on, she's completely relaxed. So we're going to go to the park, let her have a good run round, do a bit of exercise, hopefully meet some other dogs. Then we're going to go to the coffee shop for breakfast to do a bit of public socialisation, and then we're going to move on to doing some obedience. So as always, come along for the journey. So times like this are always excellent opportunities for some obedience work, so we're going to get her used to this is kind of obedience slash manners. So whenever we open the boot, I don't want her diving out. She needs to understand that I want her to sit and stay and wait patiently until I tell her. So because her sit and stay and manners are so good anyway, we will often find her in a sit, so I don't need to work for that. But now I've caught her, so Mabel, sit. Yes, good. So doing these drills that we do, that you've been seeing me do inside, we're now starting to bring it out to distraction. So we're in a car park, there's dogs barking, there's people walking back, and anytime I get her attention like this, I'm going to pay her. So I wanted to know that wherever we are, whatever we're doing, if you're looking to me for direction, things are going to be okay. So we're also going to work on some stay. So we're going to walk back, give her some time and space. Good stay, yes, good stay, good stay. Yes, good. And if you noticed, I'm often always trying to find the opportunity for when she looks to me, because there is distractions going on. You see she's looking around. So even if I put her in a stay, you'll notice she's not looking at me. She's not looking at me. Yes, good, good. And when she checked back to me to see what I'm doing, look for me for direction, that's when I'm going to pay her and reward her. So we're gradually starting to build up the distraction levels and build up the different environments that we're working on these drills, so that we can have her under control with this level of obedience no matter where we are. So we're back home now, very successful morning, got some great socialisation in with lots of different people. The coffee and breakfast happened to be fantastic as well, so I'm full of caffeine and ready to raring to take on the day. We've come home and we're going to do a bit of crate training. You saw us do it yesterday, so I'm not going to spend too much time discussing it, but we have moved up to the 2 minutes, as you can see, and I'm happy to report that we've just had our first successful 2 minutes, but we are going to do some reps with it, aren't we? And as you can see there, we've got a very happy pup working away on a bone. Oh, good girl. With resource guarding, is very happy for me to be touching her, touching her mouth. Brilliant, no grumbling, no snapping, anything like that. So that's brilliant as well. And we're going to do a few more reps. So I was a little bit more excitable than I'd like to be there, obviously. I preach about being very calm and quiet when you come and go to desensitise the leaving experience. But for the sake of this video, I'm going to be talking to you a little bit again. So I've got my timer just here on my phone. Let me just set this off. And we're also starting to work on some desensitisation with the, I'm having an absolute mare here. Right, start the timer. With things like jangling keys. So now I'm going to get the dog used to the noise of the door, shutting it, and at this point I'd be absolutely silent, so it sounded like I'd left, and then I come and stand here by the door so that I can listen out here whether there's any crying or not, to know whether she's been successful or not, so that I know whether to tick off the box and be moving on. So if in a minute and 30 seconds she starts crying, okay, we've gone too far, we need to step it back a bit and carry on working at the level. If in 2 minutes she does another brilliant one, no noise, no barking, no crying, no yelping, we tick the box and we move on. And that's just how we gradually build up. And that's kind of a good example of a foundation of the majority of dog training. You build that foundation layer at the bottom, you show them what it is that you want and you reward it, and then you just build up on that foundation layer. If you hit a point and you struggle, then all you need to know is that you drop it back, you rework it here, and then try building it up again. And every dog's different, but if you follow that kind of system, then you'll soon be well on your way. And if you are new here or you've only been watching the last couple of videos, I try not to talk about it every single video, so I don't want to sound like I'm a salesman, but if you are struggling with obedience or anything like that, I have got my perfect puppy course, which is exactly what I'm following with my Cane Corso to be able to get the results that I'm getting. So if you are interested in that course, the link's down in the description box below, so feel free to go and check that out if you're interested. But I'm going to be quiet now and finish off this rep, and we're going to probably do 4 or 5 of these 2 minute reps, and then we'll stop there and move on to something else. So absolutely ecstatic with that, genuinely chuffed a bit. So we've got 5 reps of 2 minutes of her being left completely on her own in silence, other than the time I was talking to you guys. No crying, no barking, no nothing, so it's going brilliantly. As you can see, she's now having a lunch. So what I'm trying to do, if possible, when I'm doing this exercise, is I'm doing it just before lunch. So I know that she is hungry, so she'll really want to buy into the bone. But also as part of preemptive resource guarding work, when I take the bone off her, I can then replace it with a dinner, and it helps really reinforce that losing your best thing isn't a bad thing. You've got no need to guard it. Not only am I your leader, and if I want to take that off you, I'm going to, and you need to respect that. But also that it's okay, because you're always, as long as you look to me for direction, I'm going to look after you. And again, it's all about conditioning that mindset. So going absolutely brilliantly. So I've got a busy afternoon this afternoon. I've got loads of work to do, lots of stuff to catch up on, so I'm going to edit this video and leave it there for the day. So if you enjoyed it, make sure you give it a thumbs up, subscribe if you are new here so that you don't miss another episode of Vlogmas, and I'll see you tomorrow for another update with Will and Mabel.